All right, guys, welcome back to the Winner Circle. It's your girl, Tiffany. I am here today with a special guest, but before I introduce my very special guest, I want to remind you all to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Sharing is caring. I am joined today by BB21's own special Jessica Milagros, who had the best HOH of the season. She is a wonderful podcaster. She is a great friend. She is hilarious. She keeps up with the tweets. Her Twitter has me cracking up. Jessica, thank you for joining me. Girl, we about to talk a lot of shit.
Hey, boo. Thank you for inviting me. I'm excited. And first of all, I
I'm
love
so
that you're
happy.
doing this. I love it. I love it so much.
This was so intimidating to me when I first thought about it. Like, people in the house used to say, "Oh, Tiff," especially Derek. He was like, "Oh, Tiff, you need a podcast. You need a podcast." And I was like, "I don't have an idea. I don't even know how to do that. I don't even know what you're talking about." But I will say that it is the thing I look forward to the most in my week is hopping in front of this camera, talking all my mess, and talking to my guests, and just hearing people's ideas of what they think about what I'm saying and getting this shit off my chest. It'd be a lot. I'd
Yeah,
be like, I gotta tell somebody because Twitter don't want to hear me all the time. Plus, I need to be heard. I don't need you to just read me.
I
I
feel
need to be
you.
heard.
It's a form of therapy. I found it to be a form of therapy for sure.
I guess you're right about that. That's why it feels so good.
Yeah.
I need to do it every day. Not talking to anybody. So we're going to catch you guys up on what you have not seen on the live feeds for BB24. Since the last time we talked, Kyle had won the veto. There was game talk about what was going to happen with it. I think we all kind of expected what would happen with it. Kyle's not a dummy. And so there was conversation about this veto that he won. Did you see the conversation? Have you heard of the
It's a
conversations?
conversation, so many. I don't even know which one is which because there was a lot of back and forth, and it was conversations with a lot of different people, a lot of hearsay, a lot of, alliances forming in in between alliances, a lot of negative, a lot of it was a lot. It
So,
was just a
so
lot.
you're right. You're right about that. There were so many side conversations that these side conversations led into the creation of a couple of alliances, or trying to establish new alliances. This is the house of alliances. I thought I was in a lot of alliances. There's so many alliances in this house that I really truly cannot keep up. So Michael and Brittany did not express, well, let's see. They acted to Taylor like they were indifferent about him, Kyle using the veto on Indy because some of the leftovers wanted to nominate Alyssa, particularly Joseph was convinced that Alyssa should go up. Um, I don't, but Monty, Monty has kind of been quiet this
He
week for me.
has
I'm like, where
been.
is
He,
he?
he's been drinking his water, minding his own business.
He is working out his back. Um, So the leftovers kind of wanted to trick Kyle into using the veto on Indy, in which he told her he'd use the veto on her, but I don't think he ever expected to really. I think it was just broken promises, or empty promises rather. But how did the leftovers come up with this? They want the veto used to put in Alyssa on the block.
Yeah, you know what? These are things where it makes sense, right? It would make sense. These that Alyssa would be the next person that would kind of be a detriment to the seven because
Mm-hmm.
obviously of the connection that Kyle has with Alyssa. So it kind of makes sense. I'm trying to piece things together because I'm wondering, and correct me if I'm wrong here, it's when you're in the house, you also are thinking about things that have been talked about weeks prior. Sometimes you're
Hmm.
holding on to things from like week 2, week 3, you know, all of these things. So there's a
Yeah.
lot of reasons that you come up with a decision or why you want to
Yeah.
keep someone or why you want to get rid of them. You know, it doesn't have to do with just one instance. It's multiple things that happen throughout. And so I think that maybe the 7 was comfortable in throwing Alyssa's name around because of Kyle just constantly talking so
Throwing her
negative,
around.
throwing her under the bus. You know,
Yeah.
it's not this Alyssa is a necessity in our group because she has the intel that I can get from her that I can use for our 7. It's more like Alyssa doesn't know how to play. Alyssa doesn't know what's going on. Alyssa's useless. Her back is out. Like there's no reason for us to take her out. And
Yeah.
it makes him look thirsty. It makes him look very I don't know who's buying this, you know?
Yeah. Kyle has been throwing Alyssa under the bus for a very long time. And I think he's probably conflicted about how he feels about her. Does he want to like her? I think he's trying to throw off the scent of the leftovers. He wants to I think his strategy for throwing her under the bus to the leftovers is to try to make her seem like she's less of a threat, to also
Mm-hmm.
make them think that him and her are not that close, and that he's just using her. So when you see me with her, I'm getting information from her, but she's not really worth us going after right now. We can kind of use her for what we need her for. And he obviously needs her for more than game. So he's like, don't look at her as someone we need to get out right now. And I just personally feel that when a person in the house tells me, I don't think we have the votes to get this person out, I don't want this person to go, it's almost like, well, when will you? Because how long do you want to bring them along with you?
Yeah.
Because that doesn't just change. You know, you start to get connected to people and
It
you
gets
don't want to
harder.
see them leave. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So Kyle and the leftovers end up having this back and forth about using the veto, and he ultimately ends up like pushing to say, "I'm not going to use it," and they're saying that they saw a different side of him that they had not seen before because he was so vocal about his choice and his decision. And for Kyle, I can understand why he doesn't want to see Alyssa go because that's somebody who's down for him, where she's probably more down for him than anyone else. And she's down bad. So we know,
She's
we
down bad.
know, yeah, she's down bad. So I understand why he's saying that, but it also doesn't help his game with the leftovers and being in this showman's, and no one's going to feel as close to you as you show that you are to her. But I think that's why he keeps trying to like throw her under the bus to say I'm not that close to her. And it's kind of messed up because they have more than game going on
Oh,
right now.
absolutely. And the thing is yeah, and I'm still waiting for absolutely everybody to know this, but it seems like Turner is doing his due diligence in letting those pieces out, which really surprised. I mean, it
Yes,
surprises me and it doesn't.
because what happened was Alyssa went to Turner in an emotional state in the bathroom and lets him know that the night before in the have not room, he had it. It wasn't a have not that night. It was a yes, you can have on the floaty
It
in
was
the little nasty, dirty have not room.
the have naughties. It was the have naughties room.
It was the have noties. And then she asked him not to tell. And it's unfortunate because as a woman, I looked at her telling him this story, and it wasn't a feeling of euphoria. It wasn't excitement. It was almost like regret a little
She
bit.
was worried. She sounded worried.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like I need to talk to somebody. I don't want to tell these girls. I can't tell any other guys. I feel safe telling you, Turner. Because in the house, you don't have friends and family and anybody else, but it's just natural to want to talk to somebody about something. So
Absolutely.
you almost have to find somebody that you are comfortable enough to talk to. That's why there are no secrets, because you just have to get certain things out. And so she told him this, and she's like, don't tell anybody. And Turner was like, yeah, I'm not going to tell anybody except Monty. Except what did he tell? He
Kyle.
told Kyle. Didn't he
He
go
told
right back
Kyle
and tell Kyle?
himself. He
He said,
told
Kyle,
Kyle. And then what's crazy is that Kyle asked Alyssa after he found out that Turner knew. Asked Alyssa, "You haven't told anybody, right?" And she said no. So, like at this point, we know that Kyle knows that Alyssa's a lie, and I don't know why she's lying. It's just like, is this a
yeah,
natural? I know this is like just a natural want to
she's
just,
scared.
yeah,
She's
that
scared.
natural. No,
She's like, I
no,
don't want him to know.
that didn't happen. Like, girl, you know damn well that if he asked you that, he probably already knows. But not
Yeah,
only did he say that, but he just told Joseph yesterday. So we know that now Joseph is more than likely going to tell Taylor.
I
It would
think
be hard
I want
for,
to say I thought she know. You don't think she knows?
I mean, again, I'm on very little sleep. I like within the I think I went to sleep at like 5 in the morning, but you know, I don't know if they've
You don't think she knows
had
yet?
I don't think they've had alone time, because even when they were in the HOH room, Turner was in there. I like there was so everybody
Yeah.
has been just hanging out in the
Oh
HOH
yeah. Oh,
room.
there has been some cock blocking with for conversation going on in
Absolutely.
that HOH room. Certain members of leftovers are not leaving other people alone so that they can have these private conversations. They're like, yeah, we will be here. If you want to talk, you're gonna have to talk in front of me. So
Absolutely.
so Kyle and Alyssa get naughty in the have not room. She's feeling a little remorseful about it. Um, and you know, as she should, honestly, because he's not reassuring her of the relationship, how, he's giving a lot of words, and words mean nothing without actions. His actions are, we need to stay away from each other a little bit. We need to create some space between us so that people don't know what we're doing. But that's not the reassurance a girl needs after she just gave it up
Right?
on television. Like we've seen past BB showmances, and women like to be cuffed. Like, you just fuck me. So I
Yeah.
need to know that you still want me. But that post nut clarity got to Kyle. Even if it was only listen, okay, I'm just gonna be 100% real with you. I have seen him go from cool to hot. Like, I can't handle it. And if you keep waking the giant, keep rubbing on it, keep waking the giant, keep grinding on it, keep telling it little sweet nothings. You're gonna wake it up. You're gonna wake up this sleeping giant, and this giant is gonna say, I'm ready to come out now. You asked for me, and I'm here. And men, and I'm sorry, men, but men, and yes, I'm speaking from experience. I'm 42 years old. Men will tell you a bunch of anything when he is when he is risen.
Oh, not
When
when
he
he
is
is
up.
risen. Not he has risen. Oh my
when
goodness.
he is up, his heart is soft. He does think he means these things. You are beautiful, and I like you, and I want you, and I can't be without you, and I can't see myself without you, and I would love to take you here, and I want to fly us there, and I want to spend all this time with you, because it feels so right to say, and I feel so good saying it, and I know it makes you feel good, and I want you to make me feel good. And once you make him feel good, he forgot that shit.
It's
Yeah, I
gone. It's
I don't
gone
know
in
why I
2.5
said that. I said
seconds.
I said that 10 seconds.
10 seconds. youngins. I mean, unfortunately, this is, and I mean, I keep on thinking maybe this is why they get the youngins in the show, even though they're
Of
not even that
course.
young. I mean,
Yeah.
you should know
The
this,
inexperienced.
but
Yeah.
yeah, it's the
It's the
inexperience. It is
inexperience.
the inexperience because had I been in there single, that wouldn't fly with me. So,
Yeah. You know, so this happened. So Kyle does not use the veto. And I think that this was, he didn't use the veto before their situation in the have not room.
Uh, no, it was after. It was after.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. They
so,
had just
so she
recently. They
thanked
just
him before he
Oh
gave her,
yeah. Oh
okay.
yeah. This
She thanked
happened
him first.
beforehand.
Oh,
This
you gotta prematurely thank people and then, okay. So thank you.
I think he realized, hey, if I send her to the jury house, this is
Yeah,
what I'd
that's
be
not good.
missing. This,
Yeah.
it gets
And
boring
it
in
also can
there.
create bitter.
You
Yeah.
know,
It's bitterness.
it gets boring in there. I mean, there were three showmances in my season, so I
Damn.
understand. I know it, and I know it gets boring in there. We don't do much after a certain while.
Yeah.
We start things start to kind of coast, and you kind of assume
Yeah.
you don't talk as heavy
Mm-hmm.
in the game department, unless you're in the showmance, and then that's the 24/7, which is another weird thing because this is his showmance, but he is not using her and she's not using him to their full potential.
Mm-mm.
Usually in showmances, that is your final two. That's the person you're talking to the most. If you're sleeping with them, you're always with them. What the hell are you going to do other than just talk about how are we going to get ourselves to a good place? And it's
Yeah.
very
That's definitely a
wild to
red
me.
flag.
It's very wild
Mm-hmm.
to me that they have not talked about this. And he's constantly telling her, we need to separate ourselves versus screw this. How are we going to work this? To you have one side of the house, I have the other side of
Yeah.
the house. Mind you, he slept with
Yeah.
her. They are now boyfriend and girlfriend. Like she legit somehow made him propose to her.
Okay, Jess. Nope. I was watching that in real time. Let me tell you what happened. Alyssa and Kyle are laying in Oz's old bed in
Hmm?
the back room.
I love how you said Oz's
And
old bed.
yes,
Yes.
they're laying in Oz. To me, that is Oz's bed. Okay, they're laying in Oz's old bed in the back room. She is laying on her back, looking up at the ceiling, and she is holding and fighting back tears. He is laying on his side. Her arms are folded. They're not touching. He's not attempting to comfort her because he has already been comforted. Okay. He is looking to create just a little bit of space because he's probably scared. He already knows that she's jealous. She's already told him that. He's probably wondering, how is this going to change the dynamics of our relationship, the personal relationship and the game relationship? What do I need to do? Because I do like you. I think he does like having her there. I think he likes having her around. He likes the way she makes him feel. But he's like, we have to get a little distance between us.
Yeah,
She can feel it. She
absolutely.
feels that he's trying to create this distance. She feels that he is not all up under her like he was previously. She's also hormonal right now because she's got her moon phase going on or coming off of it, and that is when a woman is going through her moon phase, she goes through a lot of hormones. There's definitely a rise in sexual desire. There's a rise in your emotional stability where everything's that hurt more. When you're sensitive, you're more, and when you're upset, you're more upset. So she's very hormonal right now, but she also feels that pull that he's trying to create. And I think women just
Absolutely.
always wonder after we go there with a guy that we have not solidified a relationship with, is this going to change the way he looks at me? I'm on television. Does America look at me any differently? Did I just mess up? So she's laying in the bed fighting tears because of a lot of reasons. And she's looking to get some confirmation from him. Like, tell me that you want me. Tell me that you like me. Like, you've been liking me and saying these things all this time. And now we've gone the distance. I've given you everything I've got to give you in this house. And now you're telling me we need some space. She's looking for some kind of reassurance. And he's like, well, I just don't know what to do because, this, I don't know how to handle this. This is new to me and blah, blah, blah. And so the way she's gotten him close to her before is physical touch, intimacy, arousal. She goes right back to, I would have never touched him. That's first of all. I don't mean previously to that. I just mean while I'm laying in the bed with my arms folded, fighting back tears, I'm not rolling over and comforting you. She rolls closer to him and starts rubbing his back and making him feel better. Girl, he don't feel bad. That man feel good, okay? Rubbing his back, comforting him, arousing him again. To where he's like, well, what do you want me to say? You want to be, I don't want to just be your girlfriend. You want to be more than me. You just want to be my girlfriend. You don't want to be like my girlfriend. You want to be my girlfriend. Yes, I want to be your girlfriend. Okay, then you're my girlfriend. And then they start grinding and getting close and kissing. The man got horny again.
It's as simple as that, right?
Him telling her, like, you're my girlfriend. People go on full-ass dating shows and say, I'll marry you.
Yes, I was going to say that. Together. I was going to say that.
We are together. They actually walk down the aisle, get married, and move in together just to come off of their show and be like, yeah, that just didn't work. So it's very simple for him to give her that kind of reassurance. Like, okay, then you're my girlfriend. And here. And then he gave her the best 10 seconds of his life.
Forget about the Minute Man. He trying to break records.
I know she's not happy with that, but I think that she will continue as long as they are there to do this seesaw game.
Yeah.
I'm hurt. I feel neglected. I don't think you want me. I do like you. We just need some space. Well, come show me. And I just want all the women out here to know that just because he fuck you don't mean that he wants you.
Yeah.
Men will sex a whole lot of things that they don't want, that they don't like, that they don't care about. So don't get it twisted because he keep rolling her way. And I'm not saying he doesn't like her and he doesn't want her, but he's definitely not putting the actions besides with his head in his pants behind what he wants from her. Okay. I'm sorry. I had to get that off my chest.
Get that off your chest.
How y'all doing?
I really wish. I really wish. I mean, look, if we're talking game, it's been wild this season. They're the only showmans. Obviously, as of right now, they're the only showmans. Yeah. But if it were that she was actually using this showmance to her full potential, had it been that she is doing this and and comforting him the way that you're saying, the way that you just explained, and it was her intention to just keep him on, her side. I can't let this go because he is a part of my game. So I need to make sure he's good. But we know that this isn't the case. We know that she's far gone. Like that she is not thinking.
What you make him promise you while you stroking him and arousing him, you don't make him promise you that you his girlfriend and that he likes you. You make him promise you safety. If you like me, then why don't we push our game further together?
Yeah.
Make him promise you to keep you safe. He did not use the veto, but that's not really also keeping her safe. He's not. Make him make you a promise that he has to keep, or he knows that him breaking it comes with a consequence.
Yeah.
While he is making you all of these promises, Make him promise you something that furthers your game.
Yeah.
Why you rubbing his back? Kyle, I just feel like if you like me, then you would tell me that I'm your final two. I would be your final two.
Yeah. Who cares about the
Are you with
girlfriend?
me? That lets me know that you're with me.
Yeah.
That's how you show me that you care about me. And he answered, he said, do you think I have your best interest at heart in this game? And she said, I do. I would have said, I don't. I don't know. I don't know because I don't have anything from you. You haven't really offered me anything I can hold on to. Don't forget I'm your girlfriend. You better help me win this money.
I think she
That's
forgot
letting me
about
know
the
you
money a
care
long
about
time
me.
ago. She forgot about that money a long time ago. She was
But
waiting
wait,
for
it's
jury.
another showman's in the house. It's another showman's in the house. It's
There's-
Monte.
Is that
See,
what
you didn't think I was.
I was not expecting you to say this. Although that would be a mighty good looking.
Okay. This is what I think about. Okay, so there's a fomance in the house. So, all right. So after Kyle doesn't use the veto and Indy and Terrence stay on the block, they all have to get their punishments. And I thought Indy was a ladybug when I first saw her on my screen in the hammock. I said, what kind of bug is she? Damn. But then I realized she's some kind of punk rocker.
Yeah.
And then Terrence, I'm going to be real nice today on this platform in public in front of these people. Terrence and his butt crack are tattooed up and down.
That was not a good sight to see. I want to say that. I was traumatized. I was just like, why? Why are we looking at this?
And I'm going to talk about it because he don't mind it. He said, I got a crack and it's here for everybody to see. And I don't feel like it needs to be covered up. And as a matter of fact, I got a tramp stamp I'm going to decorate it with. So then he's got to have 1,000,001 tattoos. But anyway, they stay on the block. And then you've got somehow Joseph and Taylor have to be linked together. They have to be chained together for like 48 hours. And I was wondering really how this was going to go. And then I had to remember that Joseph is a Leo. I'm going to watch what I say because I know your husband is a Leo.
He
but
sure
remember,
is.
I am too.
You are
And,
as well.
And
so is my daughter. I'm surrounded by him. You know this.
Oh, God. And I know a man who got a whole lot of Leo in his chart. And I'm just going to tell you about a Leo, a cat. These cats love to play cat and mouse games. Cats love to chase. A cat will chase a mouse all up and down this country. But the minute the cat catches the mouse, you think he eat him? No, he don't eat him. He don't want that mouse.
No.
He's done. So Joseph is a Leo man who loves to play. He loves attention. He likes to make people feel good. He's flirty.
Very.
But he also loves to be free. He loves his freedom because he likes to be able to do whatever it is he wants to do. And he doesn't want to be held accountable for how you feel about it. So him being attached to Taylor seemed real cute on the outside to the viewers. But I think for Joseph, he's not so comfortable with it because that's a lot for him. He can't freely go lay with Indy and talk game to Jasmine and try to see what Turner's got going on. He's actually got to be with Taylor, who he flirts with and gives her little sweet. He's giving her sweet nothings too. Now he's chained together with her. And I think that he's realizing, I like to be free. I like to do this when I want to do it. I don't want to do it because I have to do it. And I think that it's going to affect them socially together in the game. And so far, I don't think it's going to bring them closer. I think that he will desire his freedom more than them getting closer together in the game.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Joseph's been very surprising this season. You know, for someone who came in as an alternate and gave us literally nothing the first week, like we're just
I
like
think
this.
that was Pooch's fault too.
I
I
think there was
think
a
that Joseph
lot.
didn't give us anything because I think he was relying on Pooch. You know how you come into the game and you don't really, you think you know you and you think you know what you have to offer, but then you come into the house and you kind of get insecure about it. Like maybe I'm not who I thought I
Oh
was. Then
yes.
you meet someone who may have an energy that you vibrate with, and you're like, I'm going to roll with this person. And I think that's what Joseph did. And then when Pooch left, he had to rely on himself. But go
Yeah.
ahead.
No, and I agree. And you know, I feel that way a lot about like Derek X in your season. You know, like he was really in that first couple weeks, he was really all about the boys. It was very
Yeah.
much, you know, wanting to be part of this kind of fraternity, so to speak, with the boys. And once you cut off all those boys, he
Yeah.
was, you know, it was like a different side of him. And I feel like that's exactly what I see with Joseph. It's just,
Yeah.
you know, some people left. He kind of came into his own. He is now Mr. Social Butterfly. He does
He
not
is.
stop talking. He's talking about 1,000 words a second. It's just like, baby boy, please calm down. Stop talking. What are you doing? You know, but it looks like he's really enjoying it. You know, he's
He's
always
a,
thinking.
he's in his element. That's his
Yeah,
element.
and definitely.
He's social.
And we weren't
Yeah.
really thinking that a lot of people, I'm sure, were thinking this guy's going to be a dud. No wonder he's going to be an alternate, like all this stuff, you know, like why are they bringing him in? And then he just kind of like grew. But I agree with you in the sense that, yes, he's like one of the biggest flirts. He definitely is using that he's using that as game. He is using that to his advantage. And he's getting really good intel and information. However, the women in this house are just so possessive and jealous. And
Yeah.
they're, you know, they want
There's a lot of jealousy in
a
this
lot of
house.
jealousy in this house, and a lot of it has to do with him and his attachment to Taylor, you know, and then you have Kyle on the other side, who's very jealous of the type of game that he's playing. So, and he's not, the thing is that he's not hiding it well. He's very upfront and, especially with the 7, he's very, very, very
Yeah.
open, you know, and I think Kyle is starting to clock him. Kyle is putting in those, you know, those seeds into people's
Okay.
heads to kind of make it look like Joseph needs to be the next person out, or, you know, we need to start looking at Joe. I
Now,
mean,
why
you
do you
know,
think? Do you think it's that he's jealous of Joseph's relationships in the house, or is it that he knows that Joseph has been pushing for Alyssa to go? Is it that he's jealous, or is it that Kyle thinks that there's a PLC alliance and
I think it's everything. I do. I
okay,
mean,
all of those
all
factors
of those
rolled into
factors.
one?
It could be. It doesn't have to necessarily be one in this house, right? Because you have a lot of time to talk. You have a lot of time to
Yeah.
think. You have a lot of time to overthink. You know,
Yes,
and
overthinking is a thing.
yeah, and then when your personal biases come in, which I believe Kyle has plenty of,
Okay.
very personal and explicit biases that he feels towards a
Okay.
certain group of people in this house. I
Okay.
think that also that also kind of goes into this. I think that when you have someone like Kyle, who is very easily manipulated in different ways, it's weird, right? Because I think he's looking at it like, I can't get in with the Monty and the Joseph and the Taylor because I don't look like them. That's what I'm assuming. Like
But really, he can't get in
he
there with them because he's in something else. But go ahead.
exactly. But I think that in his mind, he's thinking like, they don't want me in there. I think that's his own personal bias and his own
Mm-hmm.
insecurity that says that
Mm-hmm.
he cannot have or establish those relationships with them. And he sees
Mm.
how Joseph is constantly, I mean, come on, all Kyle does is live underneath Alyssa. So
Yeah.
obviously, and he has mentioned this to Alyssa, he says, I need to start creating relationships aside from just you, which
Yeah.
has
And
he,
he's right about
yes,
that.
but yeah, but he's definitely has his
Yeah. He's just
own,
insecure about him.
yeah,
I
he's
do
very
think
insecure.
that he's grown up. He's from Utah, right? And he's
Yeah,
Mormon.
ex-Mormon,
And
but
I
yes,
think
still in
ex
that.
Mormon, yeah. I think that his environment, his nature did not allow for him to be in an environment where he actively interacted with people of color. And
Oh, absolutely.
there, I'm sure there are biases around people of color, all people of color, because he's probably grown up so secluded from anything different
Yeah.
than his own Mormon culture. And in Utah, I don't know, I'm not really geographically educated on the population in Utah, but I watch Big Love, but that don't count.
Tell me how many, can you tell me how many people of color were in that show?
Girl, not one. And I also watched that little segment on Netflix, the um what is it? Be Keep Sweet, Pray
Oh,
Obey. Did you see
yes.
that?
I have not, but
Woo!
I saw the
Girl, keep sweet,
thing.
pray obey. That was something y'all better take a look at that. So I do think that he has no experience with people of color and just does have these biases in his mind about people of color and
Mm-hmm.
how he fits with people of color. And then I also am aware that even though he called me Jennifer, and for those of y'all who mad, I ain't mad that you mad, but I ain't mad because listen, I can't remember nobody's name, okay? But he was smart enough to remember what I said. So I'm not mad that he called me Jennifer, but he is aware of last season and he probably has some paranoia regarding people clicking up and working together based on their similarities. And I do think it's what you said. I think it's just the mental bias and feeling insecure about his placement.
Yeah.
But you have to actively be involved. You
Yeah.
can't be over here up under Alyssa and then feel like you don't fit in with Monty and Joseph, or
Mm-hmm.
that Terrence and Taylor are going to start working together based on um, this culture. But it also doesn't help when people make comments publicly to people who are not people of color that I am moving in this direction because I am a person of color and this person is a person of color, and it's not game related. So if you actively voice that, then you're not helping this person who has biases not think that they're right in what they're saying. Because if you're thinking it and you're telling other people, then they can think other people are following you or other people are thinking that same way too.
Yeah. And and in ways I agree with this. It's kind of, there's a lot of things at play here, right? I think that um we're still in a society where the things that we say it have a big effect. Well, I'm going to talk Big Brother in
Mm-hmm.
specifically, because I
Okay.
mean, I'm not just talking about society as a whole. I'm
Yeah.
talking about in the game of Big Brother. The things that you say hold a lot of weight.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because everybody comes in with their own individual bias. Everybody comes in with their own preconceived notions of what they expect in this game, how they expect to be either treated, received, what they think about other people, depending on the group situations that they live in at home, who they've been exposed to, the things they've seen in the media. These are all things that happen,
Yeah.
right? And when you have someone saying like, I can't vote so and so off because they are a woman, because they
Yeah.
are a black woman because they are a white person. Like all of these things, when you say them aloud, you are assuming that the people that you are telling this to understand your situation, understand
Yeah.
the mission, understand the goal, understand your thoughts,
Or your
have
morals.
your
Just your
morals,
moral
what has gone on in
compass of
society. Yeah, what has gone on in society. Like you assume that this is everybody's way of thinking, right? And but in this house, that is being used against you. Every single thing you do and say will be used against you in the court of in the Big
the
Brother
Big Brother
court,
house.
in the Big
Yeah.
Brother house. It will be used against you,
Yeah.
because it's our minds. It's what we every house guest there has their own play by play in their mind, right?
Yeah. And
The thing,
everybody does not share the same moral
and
values
they do
either.
not, and they do not,
And they also don't always understand yours.
and this is a perfect example of what's of kind of what's going of what's going on. um and it's very interesting. It's very interesting to see this, someone like Kyle who was kind of came in not received in the best way, then created this 7-person leftover alliance, became
Mm-hmm.
king. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
was like King Kyle, then
Mm-hmm.
fell under Alyssa. Oh, now we disown him. And now he's saying all these, microaggressive and wild things that are making people even more skeptical and being like, get this man out of the house.
Yeah.
So it's been a wild ride to see Kyle and the things that he keeps on saying, now that we get more and more comfortable in the house. Because let's get it, we're also on day 40 and
Yeah.
change,
You have to
40.
start being you. Like you just come out.
This is done.
You
We're done
can't
with the
hide in there
honeymoon.
for long.
We're done with the
Yeah.
honeymoon phase. Honeymoon BB is
Mm-hmm.
over. Now people forget cameras are there somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's just, now this is normal. The
Yeah.
26 days of getting into the routine and learning a new
Mm-hmm.
habit and all of this stuff, that's done.
Yep.
This is their new habit.
Yeah.
Big Brother becomes your life, and
Mm.
now the real starts to come out.
Yeah. Because you just can't hide for long.
Not at all.
Now, Kyle and Turner had a conversation where Kyle is trying to, it seems like, and I could be wrong, um, Michael and Brittany and Kyle are trying to have an alliance together. And it looks like that Kyle wants to pull Turner into it because they are the silent majority.
Another one of them biased words. But go ahead.
And Kyle brings it up to Turner, not really bringing it up, that silent majority aspect, but he asks him, does he expect the leftovers to make it to 7? And I personally think that any alliance making it with 7 people is a definitely a difficult task to accomplish because everybody has their own agenda for themselves.
Absolutely.
If it benefits me, then yes, we're rolling with it. But at some point, if it doesn't benefit me, why am I rolling with it?
Absolutely.
And then Turner clocks him and goes, I mean, I think possibly, but it always seems like the person who ends up turning on the majority alliance, within the majority alliance, is the person that becomes the target. So I don't know if they're going to be able to pull Turner in, but Michael and Brittany seem to have left Taylor in the dust and are looking for their final 3. And it's interesting, like we talked about, Kyle is not even looking at Alyssa being pulled into he might be looking at pulling Alyssa into the silent majority, but I think he puts Turner first.
Yeah, it's a very interesting dynamic, right? Because you see that Kyle is looking at into the 7. I mean, but this is the majority that he's been playing this game with. So it kind of makes sense if these are the people. You should always, I feel like maybe he's thinking he should have Alyssa on the side. Maybe he doesn't want Alyssa in this because then
Leftover.
yeah, in the leftovers alliance, or in the
Yeah.
silent
Yeah.
or the silent majority, or whatever it is, he doesn't want Alyssa a part of it because he always kind of wants something on the side, right?
Mm.
That
Just for him.
yeah, just for him, something that's just for him. But this is the wild thing, is that Kyle is actively trying so hard to make these moves, and Brittany and Michael are really kind of pushing him toward it too. Like, they want to create, and this is a big thing on Brittany and Michael's part, is that they are trying to create now the divisiveness to so that they are not looked at in this mess. They want
They're
these
definitely
sides to
playing a
go, oh,
floater game.
they want this
They're
to
Yeah,
happen. And it
because
reminds
they know
me,
that they're not at the top of the leftovers.
absolutely.
Anyone who, when they first joined the leftovers, I think they all felt at the bottom, right, of the house. But then when they formed the leftovers, they started to feel like, yeah, and also we're at the bottom of the leftovers too.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. They saw themselves. They obviously, Michael needs to start looking at it at a point where he has the most. He has the most comp wins. He has been called out simultaneously as winning this game, along with
Yeah.
Monty. So in my mind, I'm thinking like, well, yeah, I guess it would make sense for him, for if he's kind of in the middle, for Kyle to
Mm-hmm.
to take, and he has said for Kyle to take a shot at Monty,
Mm-hmm.
for then Joseph to take a shot at Kyle, and then
Yeah.
all in the while, Michael and Brittany are kind of in this middle, watching this
Yeah.
chaos,
Yeah. I
in
mean, but do you
in their
blame them though,
alliance.
Jess? If you would look at it as far as game, we don't know how strong of a competitor Brittany is. We do know that Michael is a strong competitor, which also makes him a threat to somebody else. But when he looks at himself in the end as going against Monty or going against Kyle or going against Joseph, he probably does not want to. He would probably rather go against Terrence or, and I just mean like not in a final two, but in those later competitions,
Yeah.
and also who can gather more votes. And they all have friends that Michael or Brittany may feel like they don't have. I would personally want to get out the stronger men, and it just so happens that the stronger men are Kyle, I mean, our Monty, our Joseph. And then he is looking at someone taking out Kyle because you got to take him out too at some point. So I do understand it, but I do think that there is a lot of jealousy there. Brittany is, Brittany is so, I'm just going to say it. I personally think that Brittany is jealous of Taylor's positioning and situation in the house. I don't know if she's necessarily like jealous of her as a person, but I think that she felt just as alone. She wanted to feel just as alone as Taylor. She identified the isolation as something that was familiar to her in her personal life. So she understood the isolation of Taylor, and then they joined the leftovers. But Taylor has since become a little higher in the ranking and a lot more supported than even Brittany is right now.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like, it's not necessarily jealous as a person. I'm not even going to speak on that because I don't know. But I do think that it's jealous of the positioning and how she's a little more protected than Brittany is, and getting more attention and being liked a little more. And it's like, well, she feels like she helped her be liked or be comforted and is her friend, but
Yeah.
she'll pretend that her and Taylor have this relationship with Taylor. But then the minute Taylor is not there, it's like the things that she says lets me know that you don't really hope to see her move further.
Yeah. And here's the thing, and I agree. I agree with a lot of the points that you're making. One of the things though, in kind of like, I see, I'm a Libra, so I tend to see things in two different ways. I see both sides
Mm-hmm.
to a lot of different things. I see what you're
Mm-hmm.
saying, but I also see the effort that Brittany has done to make moves with Taylor outside of the seven. Like, she
Mm-hmm.
has given Taylor those has tried to talk to Taylor about what's the plan. We're the only two in the Seven Alliance.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to get rid of a girl. Should we be thinking about Terrence? Like, we need to start thinking ahead. And
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, as much as everybody, myself included, loves Taylor, you know,
Mm-hmm.
she's a queen. She has not been thinking strategically enough.
No.
And she has not been thinking strategically enough to
She's not a
put.
Big Brother gamer. She's definitely not a
Definitely
gamer.
not. And
No.
she's put her own alliance in this weird position by trying
Mm-hmm.
to save this
Protect the
other
girls.
side, protect the girls in
Yeah.
this other side of the house. But then she also wants to protect Terrence now, but she also, now she wants to put, now she wanted to put Turner and Joseph, up, or she was thinking, oh no, she wanted to put Monty up, and she's still using Monty as
Yeah.
this, thing. And it's like, it's too much. I
Yeah.
think
It's giving
Brittany,
people pleasing, honestly.
yeah,
I
and
think she's a people pleaser. I think she wants to be liked and accepted. And the people who don't like her are the people who she tries to accommodate the most.
exactly. And at one point you have to say, and I know that she's trying to be a different person inside of the house, because you kind of have to be, right? You kind of have to
Yeah.
be, you can't be as soft. You can't be as
Yeah.
people pleasing, as you say. Like, you can't be these people, like these type of people in the house, because it's a detriment to your game and to other people's
Mm-hmm.
game. But as soon as people clock you for it, where Brittany
Yeah.
says, I don't know if I can move with Taylor because she doesn't have it inside of her to do
Yeah.
the things I want to do, which is to make
Mm-hmm.
those big moves and get rid of these
Mm-hmm.
people.
Mm-hmm.
Then now she needs to flip. She does it with
Yeah.
she does it with the quickness. She does it with it. It looks like she didn't even like flutter an
Mean
eyelash.
the things.
She
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense to me until I kind of pieced things together. And I'm like, well, she did try to bring her
Yeah.
in, and then they're like, okay, now she can go, because I need to figure out how I'm going to win this game. She does
No,
a
I think you're
very
right, Jess. I agree.
she plays a very, if anybody has seen, and I mentioned this in my tweets, she's playing a very BB Can 10 Kevin game
Mm.
without
Okay.
having the Kevin finesse, meaning like she
His
she she's a little rough around the edges.
Yeah.
She's
She
not
doesn't
as
transition. There's not a transition.
There's not a
Yeah.
transition. And even the way Kevin it made it feel like there's nothing personal. This is just me doing exactly what I said I was going to do. Whereas for her, it feels like you said, it kind of feels like there's jealousy and there's hurt involved, and that it's not all strategic. There's something
Because
there.
she throws a lot of personal in there too. That's why. But I do agree, even if I was in the house and I am playing the game on a personal level, I like Taylor. On a game level, I don't know how far I would be willing to go with someone who I don't know if you're looking as far ahead as we need to look, and if you're willing to make the moves that I would like to make. A prime example is my sister Azza. I love Azza to death, and I knew in the house that I was willing to lie, backstab, manipulate. I was ready to get cutthroat, and I knew that that wasn't her game, and that wasn't the game that she wanted to play. She wanted to play a very honest game, and manipulation actually turned her off. And then when I realized that, I was like, I got to step back, because I don't even want her to know that I'm manipulating people, because I don't want her to not like me on a personal level, because when we leave this house, I want us to be friends. And I don't want her to look at me like I'm this terrible person because I'm willing to play the game this way. So I stopped talking a lot of game to her, and I knew I had to go a different route. Well, when I got with Hannah Chata, I said, these are the things that I would like to do. And she said, yes. And that actually is what bonded us and brought us together, because I was ready, and so was she. And so we were just two connivers together. We were the
I
con
loved
artists.
it.
We are the vendetta. So I get it. I get that if Brittany doesn't see that Taylor will move in the way that she'd like to move, with saying, Forget these girls who actually don't care about you or me, and we are not included. I don't care about saving face, looking good to them, being friends. I don't care if they black, green, blue, or purple. They are not with us. They are against us, and I am willing to cut them, and I need whoever is with me to be willing to cut them too, because if you're telling me you can never nominate Jasmine in that final when you are HOH and it's between me and her and you, are you going to keep her? Because I need to know that you'll prioritize us over whatever it is you don't want to do against someone else based on nothing that has to do with game.
And that's the miscommunication in the house, is what she's saying is coming from I can't do this. I can't do this. And then people are thinking, so you're never going to be able to do this? That means that, you know, where do I stand?
She might as well be your final two.
Yeah.
She might as well be your final two at this point.
Correct. So it's wild.
All right. So, so we've got the fomance, we've got Kyle's clarity, we've got the veto not being used, we've got a twist coming on Thursday. I'm a little excited for this twist.
I'm telling you, this is gonna be so interesting. It's never been done before. I actually am excited. Are you excited?
Just wouldn't you be mad though? Would you be mad if I was in the house, were in there and they pull?
Girl, my twist was that I got banished in the first 3 hours of the game. So yes, I hate twists. There's no way that a twist is ever good for somebody's game. God. But when it comes to us watching on the outside, it's gonna be interesting. It'll be interesting.
I love some expecting unexpected.
I'm excited to see if this, it's interesting because it looks like Taylor, as much as I thought that this HOH was really going to screw her over, it seems like Jasmine, I'm still confused. As of yesterday, I was like, is this girl for real? Because Jasmine is starting to tell Alyssa that she trusts Taylor, that she believes Taylor when she said that Alyssa wasn't going to go up, that Brittany and Taylor were safe if she was to get, HOH. And so this is just kind of a turnaround for me. Indy stopped kind of being mad at Taylor. Alyssa kind of believes that Taylor wasn't going to put her up. Hey, why would she? She used her, she picked her for the veto. Why would she pick me for the veto if she wanted to backdoor me? All of these things, right? So I think it could have gone worse. It had Kyle actually used the veto, and she then had to show her cards and the fact that she wasn't going to put Monty up. But since that never happened, she's actually in a good place with the girls. So maybe if she gets placed in, these two groups, she might be good. If she's not with the majority of her 7, I feel like she might even be more in jeopardy if she was
with the 7.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
I think that I was definitely a little concerned about how she was running her HOH. Being HOH puts you in the position to have to show the type of leader you are, and it's your house now, and these are your moves, and so you're running the show when you're HOH. And I was a little concerned about how she was running the show, and I don't change the way I feel about that. I still am not totally convinced that it was she operated in the way that showed her strongest assets. I think that now that things just happened to play out the way it did, her HOH didn't go that bad, but I think she let the leftovers know a lot about the way she thinks and the way she thinks things through. And I don't think that left them confident with her as being, I think that whoever becomes HOH, her ideas and her thoughts may not be considered as much. They will continue to operate in the way they want to move forward, and she will just be a part of the alliance. I think it was good and worked in her favor to establish a type of relationship with the girls, because I do think Jasmine probably looks at Taylor a little differently, as far as she kind of is indebted to her if she cares to play that kind of game. She could be like, yeah, I know you didn't do this to me, but it's $750,000 on the line and I'm still going to do it to you. I don't think that she cares as much about the idea of being a black woman, as Taylor does. And I'm gonna say this: if Jasmine mess around and wins Big Brother 24, and she's the first black woman winner, I might slap every single one of the cookout men who said I was not a good representation of the first black female winner, and they can KMA.
You know, I can't disagree with you on this one. I cannot, there's a lot of things that personally I do not agree with in terms of Jasmine's. I mean, I don't even really feel like she's playing
Any
a
game.
game.
No.
And that's coming from me, where I've gotten a lot of backlash on how I didn't play Big Brother to how some people wanted me to play. But I was playing from a very bottom. I was kind of playing from the bottom up, whereas I feel like Jasmine has consistently been like just coasting there in the middle. Like she's just been in a very good spot, and even in her mind, where she feels like there's this entitlement of her not seeing the block, not doing it all because of her injury.
There's a lot of entitlement. She's not willing to sacrifice any type of uncomfortability. She's not saying, I'll take this off of you if you keep me safe. I remember Ian was a have not his whole season, just so, and nobody else had to do that. That's like saying, hey, keep me here because I'm willing to do this for you. She's not willing to give anything. She just wants to get everything.
Yeah. And she expects it because, who in their right mind would put me on the block with a bad foot? Like that's just how can you even put me, on the block on my birthday? How could you even put me on
How could you give me a punishment on my birthday?
Yeah, how can you give me a punishment on my birthday? How could you not give me a pony and a helium balloon and 10 birthday cards? And I'm like,
how could you be chained to Joseph on my birthday?
Can you not be chained to him on my birthday? Like, I don't understand any of this entitlement and all of the, but I just don't see color like that. And then go into her business and see hashtag black owned business. I'm about to lose I'm about to lose it, because it's just like
It's the when it benefits me. It's the when it benefits me.
You cannot benefit off a system that you are always denouncing and saying that you don't see or that exists. Like, you cannot do that. That's like me saying hashtag Latina and not being anything about my culture, not knowing my language, not knowing where I came from, not knowing the things that have happened to my people. And yet I'm doing hashtag Latina so I could get more eyes support, on me and more support. But that's a culture. This is an upbringing. This is a shared experience, So those are, but that's beyond game. We're not even talking and it kind of trickles in.
That's in here.
But it also deals with, people would say it's beyond game and that doesn't matter, but it does, because to some people this really does matter. And that's where the clash becomes, like when personalities and cultures and experiences and beliefs don't mix. And then you're wondering why they're targeting each other and why they don't get along and why things are happening. And that's a part of the game. So I'll be excited to see. I'm rooting. I'm rooting for some people. I'm hoping,
Give me one person you're rooting for, Jess. You don't have to give me all your business. Give me one person you're rooting for besides Taylor.
Okay. Let's see. To be quite honest, I'm rooting for Michael because he's in my draft and I have money invested in it. And he was doing really good. Give me my coins. Give me my coins. I cannot, I cannot.
I give you one person. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, as much as I didn't want to, I kind of am toward Monty, and it's just.
Oh God.
I know.
It's tough. Okay, so here's a quick little hot take. I was totally disgusted, like vomiting about Monty in the beginning. I didn't think that he could do anything for me to change my mind about the way I felt about him. And then I had to realize that in real life, I have forgiven people for worse, and I've been forgiven for worse. And we hope to grow. We say grow and mature and change and learn a lesson. And then when people do, then we don't want to give them that grace that they
Absolutely.
have, and so I am a person who is big on forgiveness because I've been forgiven for a lot of things. I have seen Monty display a better character than what he presented to me, than what he gave me to go off of in the very beginning. I want to hold him accountable to the actions he displayed in the beginning, but I also want to give him credit for growing and showing another side and showing more of him. I do like him a little more. My foot is still on his neck, but I do like him a little more. I'm willing to not hold him in that same space. And this is just an example. I'm going totally off subject, but I can look at things like the judicial system where you've got people who are in prison for 30 years for something they did when they were like 20 years old, with a whole totally different mindset, with totally different experiences. And then they're still like not allowed to say or feel or live a different life, in saying that they haven't grown, they haven't changed, they haven't thought of anything. Like, how long must I have to be held to that standard? I used to pee and poop on myself, okay, when I was a baby. I used to wear diapers. Are you still gonna judge me for peeing and pooping on myself, or in the bed, or eating boogers or mud pies or whatever? You know what I'm saying? So people do grow, and I want to allow myself to give him the grace that I have been given, and say I do like him a little more than I did in the beginning, because he's shown much more than that part of himself, and I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
And I agree. And I think that it really comes down to sometimes ignorance. There's ignorance. There's
Yeah,
also a little bit of bias in it, but there's also a
yeah.
lot of loyalty. And that's what I've noticed in Monty as of late. Like when
Mm.
he's kind of a ride or die in some cases. Like, and I
He's a
feel
Taurus.
like, yeah, and I feel like he's kind of really gravitated to Taylor to be his,
Yeah,
like, and also Joseph to be his ride or die. But
I'm
he's
going for
very
a
much
Taylor. I'm going for a
surprised.
Taylor Monty final too.
Taylor Monty, I would not be mad at it. Alphas aren't my thing, but in the game, but I'm okay with it. And I'm really digging
Yes,
Turner, and Turner has really
me too.
pleasantly
That's what I was gonna
surprised
say.
me. And
Yeah,
I love his I love his charisma. I love
yeah.
that he's thinking. I love that he's not afraid to say and to stick up for for what he believes in, no matter what,
That
no
I
matter
like a
how
lot. Yeah,
insensitive it
he
sounds.
doesn't waver. He is firm in what he believes in, and I
Yeah.
respect that.
Yeah,
He's not a leaf blowing in the wind.
he's not just talking about, not liking the bullying. He's telling Jasmine that, balloons hurt the environment. And what the hell you thinking? Like,
Girl, she was mad as hell. She said, "This
so
my daddy
bad.
you talking about." He said,
Yeah.
"No, I'm actually talking about the balloon and the
Yeah,
environment."
like, yeah, he's not, he sometimes he doesn't compute the two, but I think
Yeah.
what saddens me the most is that he looks at Taylor differently for her even suggesting to put him on the block, when he has probably been the most vocal and has been the one who really set the movement to keep her
I don't
safe.
blame him. If you
So
want to jeopardize me, whether it's a pawn or my game for real, I have to look at you differently, honestly,
absolutely.
because I cared about you, and you're like, "Oh, but this is a game to me." So I'm not mad at him that he feels indifferently about her desire to jeopardize his game when he
and
didn't jeopardize
and that's how
hers.
quick it happens in the house, because
It is.
you surely realize, if you can put me on the block, and you are willing to take that risk, then I don't really matter to you, you
Yeah.
know
And if
and
it's F me, it's F you.
yeah. So I'm enjoying it,
Well,
and
we
his little rat face too. He's not a rat, but I'm just saying that the things he is put. I mean, the fact that he's telling Alyssa all of her business to everybody is just quite. I mean, it's like
he's
wrong, but it's
it is no.
entertaining.
He said, "I don't know who told you to trust me with your private business, but I'm gonna tell it."
But he's
Well, we
in.
are going to wrap it up. I so enjoyed you coming to kick it with me.
Me
I
too.
appreciate you so much.
I do too.
And I look forward to being on your show again
Yes,
and
yes. You
again
know
and
you are
again.
welcome anytime. We love to kiki over there, and I love to talk about it. And we're just, we're having fun and talking
Tell us
about
where
it.
over there is. Just tell everybody where they can find you. Give us your socials. Give us your podcast
Yes.
name. So tell us how to find
Yes.
you.
So you can find me on either Instagram or Twitter at J Milagros plus plus, and so that's on my Twitter and on my Instagram. But you can also check out my recaps on Girl Let's Agree to Disagree on YouTube. So we try to recap every week if I'm feeling it, because sometimes it'd be triggering somebody, so I can't do it. But we also do all of our exit interviews. We have a couple up. We have an exit interview with Daniel. We have the one with Nicole. So those are currently on the channel. I do, yeah. And so we just talk about it with fellow former house guests, and we just talk about the experience and how we're feeling. So
Thank you,
thank you
Jess.
for
Thank
having
you.
me.
You're so welcome. Guys, you know where to find me. You can find me on the Winner Circle Mondays and Wednesday. What the heck day can y'all find me? Mondays and Wednesdays. Don't judge me. You can find me on the Winner Circle Mondays and Wednesdays, recapping the BB Live feeds and giving my 2 cents about other shit. And you can also follow me on Twitter. I am very vocal and I am very interactive with my followers.
I love
You can
it.
tag me in some stuff. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Drop me comments. Try to send me DMs. I do try to answer. You can also follow me on Instagram at absolutely gorgeous 100 and like, comment, subscribe, and go follow my girl Jess and check her out.
Yes,
I
please
will catch you
do.
guys back here in a couple of days. Have fun, guys. Later. Bye.